Welcome to Intuitive Alchemy, the space where we turn cosmic and spiritual insight into practical, real-world healing. I'm Sydney, trained intuitive, energetic alchemist, and medical astrologer in training. And on Intuitive Alchemy, I get personal. We don't do surface level here. We go deep. No fluff, just the energetic shifts, raw stories, and grounded practices that actually change your life and activate your personal power. Now let's get into it. Hello and welcome back to Intuitive Alchemy. I am so excited to share this episode with you, and if you are a loyal listener and you're used to waking up on Tuesday morning and seeing the episode published like already, I am sorry that this time it wasn't. I just needed a little bit longer on this one. So, okay. I think that this episode is going to hit home for a lot of you. It definitely does for me, hence why I'm talking about it. But what we're going to talk about today, which I already kind of mentioned this on Friday's little mini episode, we're going to talk about how to have a single girl glow up, even if you're not single, completely regardless of your relationship status. And we're going to talk about what is the single girl glow up if you don't know what it is. I think a lot of us kind of know, usually when a woman goes through a breakup or a heartbreak or, something like that, she typically comes out completely glowed up and you're just like, holy shit. There was like a trend actually going around on Instagram. Gosh, I don't know. What is time? I don't even know how long ago this was, but within the last year, probably, where the women were like showing a picture of themselves and they were like, what he made me look like or what I looked like while I was with him or when I was married or whatever. And then like you swipe and you see what she looks like now. And I swear to God, like most of them were completely unrecognizable. Like most of them, I was literally like, is that even the same person? Like, is this actually a prank? Like, they're not even using the same person in both of these pictures. And even like some of them were so drastic that I would go to the person's profile to be like, is this really them? Because there's no way she went from that to that, like just completely unrecognizable. And so that is kind of the phenomenon that I have been noticing and thinking about a lot over the last several months, and kind of also noticing where it applies to me, even though like mine might not be quite as drastic as some of those that were hopping on the trend. I still, basically what I realized is that I felt much more attractive whenever I was single and much more like just kind of magnetic, sexy, radiant, all of that. So we'll get into that in just a second, but I'm kind of skipping ahead here. I do want to first say that this is not about being bad or like believing that you can only, or about like relationships being bad, or feeling like you can only thrive when you're single. Like that is not what this is about. I'm obviously in a long-term relationship. I guess I shouldn't say obviously in case you're a new listener, but I am in a very happy long-term relationship, and that is what I want. So this is not about like shitting on relationships or saying that you can't be your most glowy and radiant and attractive when you are in a relationship. Not at all. You absolutely can. But what I'm going to talk about today is how to do that, because as women, it can just kind of gradually happen to where over time you're like, where did my sparkle go? And so today we're going to talk about how to get that back, and you have to be intentional about it. So this is just about recognizing that that sparkle, that magnetism, your glow, it comes from you. It does not come from the relationship or the lack of relationship. The relationship is just kind of like it could be the catalyst, or the breakup could be the catalyst, but it's not about that. And that's, again, the point of today, that what I want to really drive home is, it is not about your relationship status. It is about you and what you do and what you pour into yourself. And when you are pouring all of that energy that you have outward, even if it is in the best, most beautiful, aligned, happy relationship, you still are going to unintentionally dim your own light. And this is what I have been realizing about myself. So, okay. As I said, over the last however many months, I have been thinking about this. And of course, part of this for me, I did within the last year, less than a year ago. I was diagnosed with Hashimoto's. And so that's an autoimmune disorder, which can cause some physical symptoms like weight gain and like skin issues and just fatigue, all kinds of stuff. That can in turn, of course, affect your appearance. So some of this for me in my personal story is going to be due to that, but most of it is due to myself, not like completely autoimmune disorder aside. It's due to how much I'm pouring into myself and still putting myself first, even though now I am in a relationship and I live with another person and I don't only just have myself to worry about and take care of. So I just started realizing, like, and I don't know how this started. I don't know if it was like just kind of a thought that popped into my head, or if I was like seeing, like on the iPhone, how it will give you like featured photos every day where you're just like, here's like a random handful of photos from your whole entire camera roll. Like there's no rhyme or reason. There's no order to it. And so I don't look at those every day, but like, sometimes I do. And sometimes I'm like really astounded by how I used to look versus how I look now. And, just some of it is, of course, like having to do with like, oh, I had my dream body back then and now I'm working on getting back to that. Or, wow, like I just was so radiant. Like I was like kind of my definition of like that bitch. And that was actually like an affirmation that I used to do. I had like a manifestation journal. I actually went through like 2 or 3 of them because I loved it so much, this specific one. And I don't think they make it anymore because I actually was looking for it the other day. It's called the I Am Journal. And I just like loved the way it was formatted. And every day for months and months and months, I would write, there was like a spot to write like 3 affirmations or whatever every day. And every day I would write like, I'm that bitch. And I feel like that came true for me. Like, I mean, it's not about what anyone else thought. It's like just about what I thought. And even looking back sometimes at photos from different, like from that point in my life, I'm like, I just look so glowy. And like, also I remember back to that time in my life when people would comment on that. Like people would literally stop me in a store, like in freaking Trader Joe's or something. People would stop me and be like, your skin is so unreal. Like what do you do? And I'm like, I mean, yeah, like I take care of my skin for sure, but like how do you tell someone like it's actually not about the skincare brand? It's like about the energy work and the confidence and all of that. Like it's about all the love that I'm pouring into myself. That's not, I mean, you could say that to someone, but they might be like, okay, what? Just tell me what skincare you use. So I just like kind of by contrast, I was just kind of seeing like, and remembering, wow, like I truly was like one of the most confident people that I knew. And like, I kind of was like made fun of for it from like my family. We would be like at dinners, we would have like, I don't know, not like weekly, but we would have pretty regular like family dinners at a restaurant whenever I still lived in Tulsa, where my parents live. And like, I was always the single one for like 2 years. I was like always alone and stuff. And my brother had a girlfriend. And so like they would be there and then it would be me. And I like would always want to go around the table and be like, okay, say at least like one thing that you love about yourself. Because like that for me is so easy. Like that's such a normal thing for me. Like if you asked me on the spot, like completely unwarned, like you asked me, hey, tell me 3 things you love about yourself or 3 things that you're really grateful for about yourself or whatever, I would be like, it's hard because it's hard to pick only 3, like not because it's hard to come up with 3 or 1 or whatever. But like most people that aren't practicing this kind of self-love and self-worth and just personal development, like that is really hard for them because they've been taught like, oh, if you're talking about how much you love yourself or whatever, like you're conceited or you're cocky or you're not humble or whatever. And like, that's just so fucking false. Like that's another topic, but that just like pisses me off. But anyway, so that was like, that was like my thing. And it just like annoyed people so much when I would do that. Like nobody loved it but me, but I was like, I want you guys to love yourself. So I need you to come up with something that you love about yourself. But anyway, that was kind of a tangent, but okay, so back to the main point of the episode. I was realizing that I felt like my radiance and my magnetism and my just like confidence and feeling like super that bitch and super sparkly was like kind of just gone, almost like not completely gone, but just like it wasn't where it used to be and where I know that it can be. And it had nothing to do with my relationship with Corey. Like he's amazing. He's incredible. And like, it wasn't about having like, oh, I lost my glow because I'm in an unhealthy relationship. Not at all. I'm in the healthiest relationship I've literally ever been in my life. And it was because of how I was showing up or kind of not showing up for myself while in the relationship versus how I was showing up for myself whenever I was single, which was like, I was doing nothing but showing up for myself. Like that was literally my whole entire life. All of my love, all of my focus, all of my energy was 100% on me. Like, I mean, it was like my full-time job, bettering myself mentally, spiritually, physically, outside of work. My time was completely devoted to me. I was giving myself everything I needed completely unapologetically because like, why would I need to apologize about that? I have no one else to worry about but me. And I have like low maintenance friends. So, you know, I was just literally like, I even had in my year 7, like if you're familiar with numerology, like your personal year, in my year 7, which is like the very like internal spiritual kind of like your hermit year. Oh my God, I was completely hermited just almost the whole entire year. I just like was so inside like me. It was such an internal and like healing year, like cocooning year, but not in like a dissociated, nervous system dysregulated way, like in a very deeply healing way. And I came out of that just like freaking sparkly. And gosh, that was magical. Like that was just 100% me pouring into me. And like, even though at the time I was still pretty sad, I would say, about my previous relationship ending, now looking back, that was such a magical time. And I may never have that exact kind of time again, you know? Like, I mean, if Corey and I are going to be together for a really, really long time, like I think we will, I may never have a year 7 like that again, where I can literally just like live by myself and pour 100% of my energy and intention and focus and love into myself. And what a gift that was to be able to experience that. And again, this isn't really what the episode's about, but part of alchemy is literally just changing partially your perspective, but kind of your frequency around something that was undesirable. Like you perceived it at first as undesirable. And then you are able to not bypass, because I was sad. Like I fucking felt sad. I was very heartbroken. I was in the trenches, but being able to, go through that and then later realize and now change your perspective and your energy and your gratitude to truly see the magic that was. Like that is alchemy. I changed the frequency and the perception around something that I deemed to be really tragic. The ending of a relationship and being alone now after I thought I had found my person, to now being like, I look back at that part of my life as like super, super fondly. And I'm so, so grateful for it because I had so much profound growth and transformation during that time. So what part of your life could you look back on and alchemize how you see it and not be bitter or victim mindset about it, but like truly just be like, holy shit, if that hadn't happened, then this wouldn't have happened, and then this wouldn't have happened, and da 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 da. So anyway, gosh, we're going on so many tangents today. So this is probably going to be a long one. Buckle up. Okay. So when I was realizing, as I was realizing that I had kind of felt like I lost my sparkle, I started thinking back to my previous relationships and my marriage. And I was like, no, this is a pattern. This is nothing. Like, this is not just right now happening. This has actually happened in every relationship I've been in, except for one. And the difference there, the reason why it didn't happen with that one is because it was a long distance relationship. And it totally would have happened if it weren't a long distance relationship. But it was like, yeah, I had a partner, but we didn't live in the same state. So it didn't we would be on the phone a lot and stuff. But other than that, I had nothing but time for me. So that is how I was in about a 3-year relationship, long distance. And I didn't lose my sparkle or anything in that because I still was pouring all of my time and energy back into me. So, but even when I was married too, it's like, I don't know, something in my energy field just kind of flips a switch and is like, I'm off the market. I'm unavailable. Don't look at me. I don't know. It's just like my magnetism goes down. The radiance, all of that. And it has, again, nothing to do with the other person. This is because I stop pouring into me first. And I am not really unique in this. This is not just a personal wound of mine. This is pretty universal for women. I would even venture to say most women. We are so much more likely to skip a workout or sacrifice our morning spiritual routine, or just adjusting our lives and our routines and our preferences and everything so that we can not disturb someone else's comfort, or we can put someone else first, or we can take care of someone else, or even just get more time with the other person. Sometimes it has nothing to do with taking care of them, but sometimes it's literally just well, I could either go to yoga tonight or I could not, so that we could hang out, because he was working in the day and so was I. And now we have evening together. And if I go do the thing, go do the class or whatever, like we can't be together. So your sparkle gets softer. Your sparkle starts to dim a little bit over time when you're doing these things and you're consistently kind of not putting your priority, not prioritizing your things that make a difference for you, that make you feel like the most confident, beautiful, radiant, sexy version of yourself, most embodied version of yourself, because you're not fully feeding it. Like you're not pouring into yourself. You're kind of self-sacrificing. And that's just what women tend to do. I mean, and this, I'm even just talking about being in a relationship. I know, I don't personally know because I'm not a mother yet, but I can only imagine how much harder this gets whenever you have a small human literally depending on you to stay alive. Like I just can only imagine how much more complicated it gets at that point. So this has to be such an intentional thing that you have top of mind. So something interesting too, that whenever we're talking about like the single girl glow up or like the heartbreak glow up or whatever, the woman always has a glow up. I mean, like, I just don't think that there are many instances where this doesn't happen. Like, yeah, you might have a little bit of a phase where you go a little downhill because you're super sad, down in the dumps, whatever. But then you're going to come out on top. Like, I just know you are. That's just how it goes. Women are so fucking resilient, and our energy and our love is so incredibly powerful that whenever you are directing it towards yourself, it is going to do wonders for you. So your radiance comes back, your confidence skyrockets, your energy is magnetic AF. Meanwhile, like in the case of a breakup, do you notice how the guy always has like the biggest glow down? Like after a breakup, you see a picture of like the girl and the guy. The girl looks like so hot, like so much better than she did before, and the guy looks like shit. Like he's probably gained weight. He like needs a haircut. He is just like, his skin probably breaking out. Like he's just looking really not great. And that's because that's, again, just showing the power of women's energy and women's intention. Because what is making the same thing that is making that woman glow up is the same thing that has made him glow down. So it's her energy. The reason why she's glowing up is because she's putting her energy and her love back in herself. The reason why he's glowing down is because he no longer has her energy and her love and her devotion and her magic and all of that, like that previously was pouring into him. Now it's not. It's like his life source is cut off almost. And of course, like, yes, he could totally plug that back in, like using his own energy and love and everything, but like men just kind of aren't always taught that. I mean, I guess women aren't either. Like none of us are really taught how to love ourselves and how to prioritize ourselves in really healthy ways. So anyway, okay. Women's energy, the whole point that I wanted to say with all of that is just that women's energy is literal alchemy. Like whenever we direct our energy towards something, whether it's ourselves, someone else, or like an intention or a goal or something you want to manifest, it will happen. Like our energy is magic. We have such creation energy just completely embedded into our souls, our bodies, our spirits. That is just like one of the most amazing things about being a woman. We're so connected to creation. It's straight up magnetism. So, okay, let's talk about how the 3 steps, I'm going to go through 3 steps of how to have your single girl glow up, even if you are in a happy relationship, or even if you're single but not newly single. Like you don't have to have a breakup, a catalyst, a completely tragic thing happen to you to have this like phenomenon of the single girl glow up or the heartbreak glow up. You can have this at any time, with any circumstances, with any relationship status. So step 1, radical honesty. You are going to whether you're single or not, get radically honest with yourself. Where are you putting yourself last? Where are you sacrificing the rituals, routines, habits, whatever practices that keep you vibrant, magnetic, and radiant, feeling your most confident? And you just have to be honest. You have to really think, what little micro habits or micro ways am I putting myself last? And if you didn't listen, I should have said this in the beginning, but if you didn't listen to the previous episode about where you could be putting yourself on the back burner, go back and listen. It's super short. I think it's like 11 minutes long, because I talked about three, just really small, kind of seemingly insignificant ways that I realized I was putting myself off and like putting my needs on the back burner. I'll just say one of them as an example is like, and this is like silly, like it sounds silly, but like putting off whenever you notice you're hungry, being like, oh, I'll eat later, like I'm busy, or I'm doing this, or whatever, like just making yourself, putting off your nourishment so that you can finish something else or do something else or whatever. And then realizing however long later that then you're like completely ravenously hungry, probably grabbing for sugary things because your blood sugar is now not good. And your body is like, hello, are we going to be fed, or do I need to store this fucking fat because we're in starvation mode? It's just that was a simple way that I noticed myself over the course of a couple weeks, like consistently making myself wait for no reason, like not because of, oh, I'm fasting or I'm doing this or that, literally just because I would be like, man, I'm hungry. But then I would be like, oh, but I want to finish doing this, or, oh, I need to do this first. I'll eat after I do this. And then 2 hours go by and now I'm completely starving and I'm like not feeling good. And now I'm making food choices that I wouldn't be making if I had just fucking ate the first time that I realized that I was hungry. So that's just one small way, but just get honest with yourself. Where are you doing that? Are you always taking care of someone else before? Like, are you always making someone else's coffee before you make yours? Are you always, I don't even know. There's so many different ways that you could potentially be doing this, sacrificing your rituals, routines. Are you not doing your skincare in the morning? Are you or at night too? Like, are you not washing your face at night because you've given your energy to everyone else all day and you're so fucking exhausted by the time it's bedtime that you literally can't even take your makeup off before you get in bed? Like, how are you self-sacrificing without potentially even realizing that that is what you're doing? Okay, so get really honest with yourself about those. Write them down, like in a journal or on your notes app, whatever. Nobody has to see this. This is only for you. And then ask yourself, if I was single, or if I had just 100% of my energy and time to put into myself, what would I be doing differently? If I didn't have to worry about anybody else, my husband, my boyfriend, my kids, my girlfriend, my partner, whatever, my job, my parents, like whatever, whoever it is in your life that you have to take care of, or you feel like you have to take care of, if you didn't have to worry about any of them and you only had to worry about yourself, what would you be doing differently? How would you be showing up for yourself? Write that down. That's information that you are going to need going into these next 2 steps. Okay. Step 2. I'm going to take a sip of coffee. Hang on just a second. Okay. Step 2, clarity. We're going to get clear on who the highest version of you is. What does she look like? How does she feel? What does her energy feel like? How does she feel on a day-to-day basis? Like, what is her temperament? What is her typical mood or her typical vibe? What are her non-negotiables? What are the things that she absolutely will not sacrifice on? Write those down. And then after you do that, you're going to make a list. Does she move her body daily? Does she prioritize morning routine or morning ritual no matter what? Does she invest time in her beauty or creativity practices? Does she fiercely protect her boundaries? Get specific on this. This is not a thing that you want to be really vague on, of like, yeah, like she likes the idea of a morning ritual. Sometimes she invests in her beauty. Like, what does that mean for you? Because, you know, investing in your beauty, God, that could be so many different things. There's so many different ways that you could invest in your beauty. Like, what does that mean to you? Does that mean that you buy premium skincare? Does that mean that you go and get a blowout in your hair? Does that mean that you keep up with your haircut? Like for me, it means that I keep up with my haircut because I have a pixie. It's super short. Like I get a haircut every 3 to 4 weeks, non-fucking negotiable. Like non-negotiable. If for some reason, like I have to wait like 5 weeks because of a scheduling thing, or like my hair person only works 2 days a week. So like if I can't get in for whatever reason, like, oh my God, if it's 5 weeks, I feel like a complete, like different, I'm like, oh my God, who am I? Like this, my hair is out of control. So for me, like that's a non-negotiable. Maybe for you, it's getting, you know, well, this is also for me, like getting my nails done every few weeks, like non-negotiable. I invest in that. That's important to me. I like for my hands to look pretty. I like to have good skincare. I like to keep my hair the way that I like it, short the way that I like it. Maybe for you, it's like you go get a blowout because you have long hair and you don't want to style your hair every day. Or maybe it's that you get a facial once a month or a massage. Or maybe it's that you go, like you want to focus more on the creativity. So you go to like a pottery class every couple months, or you go to a cooking class, or you do journaling every day. That's non-negotiable. You do a workout at least 3 times a week. That's non-negotiable. Maybe you like prayer in the morning or energy work in the morning is non-negotiable. What are those things for you? Get specific. Okay. I went more vague with these questions, like move your body and morning ritual, because like I want you to realize that these are just the different categories, but you have to get specific on what it looks like for you. Because if you don't, you're probably not going to do it, because you're not actually like saying, okay, these are the things I'm going to do. I'm going to journal in the morning. I'm going to do gratitude journal. I'm going to do prayer. I'm going to do visualization. I'm going to do my skincare. I'm going to move my body for at least this long. I'm going to like you have to pick out your own routine. Nobody else is going to do that for you. And if you don't do it, then your day is just going to completely dictate your morning routine. And like, I know that because for a while, for most of my, I would say probably most of my relationship with Corey, certainly after we started living together, my routines and my practices that previously were non-negotiable kind of fell by the wayside, because also like a lot of the things that I was doing, like my spiritual routines and stuff, like I want privacy for that. I don't want to do it like sitting next to him. I don't want him to be like in there whenever I'm like praying or doing affirmations or whatever. Like I like to do that by myself. And something that does add a layer of complication is like when you live with someone, they're there a lot of the time. And yeah, I had lived alone for like 4 years before I met Corey. And because like I said, even when I was in a long distance relationship, like we didn't live together because he lived in Colorado and I lived in Oklahoma. So I was very used to having all the privacy and time in the world. And then you have this person living with you, and it does change things. Like it just does. But that's not an excuse, because I still could have found ways around that, and I just didn't. And I'm seeing now like how incredibly effective all those things that I was doing, how effective they were, because they were literally making me glow from the inside out. They were making me feel so confident and so steady in myself, so magnetic. Like my manifesting power was out of this world. because of all those things that I was doing that were non-negotiables. But then they fall away and you start to see, oh, okay, those things really made a huge difference. How can I get them back? And you absolutely can get them back. Okay, let's go to step 3, integration. So this is about bridging the gap. You don't just want to know what the habits are, what your non-negotiables, what the things are that you believe are important to you and that you want to prioritize. You actually have to live them, which I already kind of hinted at that already when I was talking before, but you have to start integrating these physical, tangible things into your daily routine, into your daily life, as if your life depends on it, because, you know, it's not that you're going to die if you don't, like you probably won't, but your glow, your magnetism, your sparkle, your energy, that does depend on it. And you can see a notable difference. Like, I promise you can see a notable difference. Like, if you're going to do this, if you're going to go through this 3-step process, I want you to take a before photo. I really want you to take a before photo, and you don't have to share it with anybody, but just like save it in your phone, put it in like an album or like heart it or something so that you can easily go back to it, because I want you to do this for like, gosh, I mean, I don't know how long it takes to see a difference. It doesn't take that long to see a difference, but like, let's say do it for a few months, do it for like 2 or 3 months. And then I want you consistently for 2 or 3 months, not like once or twice, but consistently. And then I want you to take another picture. And you are going to, I promise you are going to see a complete difference. Your skin is probably going to be so much brighter. Like, maybe now you're noticing your skin's a little bit dull. Maybe there's some texture and you're just kind of like, man, like, why is my skin looking so like gaunt? Why do I have like dark circles under my eyes? Why am I puffy? Why am I this? Why am I that? Why am I feeling like just, you know, sometimes it's not even about like how you look on the outside, but it's just how you feel. Like, why do other people tell me that I look great and I don't believe them? Like, I literally feel like when someone tells me, oh, you look so beautiful, or that's so cute, or whatever, and you're like kind of deflecting the compliment because you yourself don't believe it. I want you to clock those things as you're changing these habits and you're reprioritizing yourself. I want you to clock those things that you notice physically and non-physically, just in your own energy and how you feel, how you're moving throughout your day. Like, how do you change whenever you're feeling this like sparkly, magnetic, radiant energy? How you move through life completely changes. You start expecting the best thing to happen. You start interacting with people more because you're more confident. You're like striking up conversation, even if it's just like in line at a coffee shop and you're like chatting it up a little bit with people and you're just like glowy and sparkly and people are drawn to you and people give you free things and people acknowledge you and you don't feel like invisible anymore because like now you're just like main fucking character energy. Okay, that's what you're going to do. You're going to actually do the things that you write down. You're going to pour into yourself, take a before photo, take an after photo, but then like don't stop on that. Like, once you take your after photo and you're like, wow, I feel and look better. Don't stop. Keep going. Keep going, because it's only going to get better. There's always a next level. Okay, I'm going to give you some examples from my life of like my things that are really important and non-negotiable for me. And it's not that like every single day, every single one of these things gets done, but it's like every week, a handful of these things are happening. I understand, like it's not about perfection. It is not about self-punishment if you have an incredibly like extraordinarily busy day and you're like, oh my God, I didn't get to do a workout today. It's not about beating yourself up, because that is going to dull your sparkle even more. Like, we're not doing that. But what it is about is like, okay, I had a really crazy like go day and I didn't get to do a couple of the things that I normally would love to do and that are really important to me. And so how can I like put even a little bit extra time into myself? Kind of like whenever you get behind on sleep, like you have to make up for that. Sleep debt is a real thing. You don't just like get a lack of sleep, and then like it just goes away. It keeps racking up a debt, and you are going to have to catch up on all of that sleep somehow. It's kind of like, view it that way of like, okay, I went a little bit into debt on my self-love today. So how can I make it up tomorrow? Or over the next couple of days, how can I add maybe like one extra thing, practice, ritual, habit, whatever, to pour into myself a little bit more the next few days to make up for that self-love debt that I created or that happened because of whatever. Okay. Now we're going to talk a little bit about astrology, because that's just what we do here. So energetically, this is about reclaiming your sparkle. It's about no longer outsourcing your glow to literally anyone else, not your partner, no matter how amazing and lovely and loving they are, not your job, not your circumstances, not your kids, not your family, not your friends, not anything else but you. Your glow is not a one size fits all. None of our glow ups are going to be as a result of the same exact practices. Like, yeah, journaling, probably good for most people, but not everyone's going to love doing that. So like, yeah, could it benefit everyone? Yes. But is everyone going to love doing it? No. So therefore, if I hate doing something, like I don't really love meditating. Like I like to be in a meditative state as a result of doing, like maybe visualizing or driving sometimes, even like you're in a meditative state, or yoga, very much a meditative state, but it's like active. I like active meditation, not passive meditation as much. So the point is to do things that you like, not just to do things that you saw someone talking about and someone else said like, oh, there's so much data to back up why this is so good for you. And like, this is the science and it's so good for you. And like, you're forcing yourself to do it because objectively it's good for you, but actually it's not really good for you specifically because you don't love it. That is not the point here. We're not trying to torture ourselves and just do shit that someone said worked for them or works for the majority of people, but like it's actually taking your sparkle away because you hate it and you have resistance to it and it doesn't feel good to you. So therefore you're not getting glowy, you're not getting radiant by doing shit that you hate. So just also want to throw that in there. While you're making your lists, I really want you to pick things that are not only good for you, but that you don't hate doing, like that make you feel good. And so maybe your morning routine is, wait, I didn't even talk about my non-negotiables. Sorry. Let me go back to that. Maybe your morning routine is just like dancing to a song, like an upbeat song that makes you feel happy and it makes you kind of get in that bitch energy, like dancing to a song. That's on my list. That's like triggered my memory. I'm like, I actually just skipped right over. I said I was going to talk about my things and then I didn't. So we'll go through these and then I will get into the astrology. So for me, exercise, moving my body daily or at least almost daily, even if it's not a full-blown workout where I'm like sweating and doing like some kind of a resistance training, but like, can you do, like I just said, can you dance to a song? Can you do some like rebounding or shaking or jumping? Or for me, I have a vibration plate. I love to stand on my vibration plate for 10 minutes. Can you do some Qigong, like a free Qigong video on YouTube? Some yoga, I love The Class, which is a website and an app. It's literally just called The Class, and they are very different kinds of workouts, and they also have some really good yoga on there. And like, I'm a yoga teacher, so I'm incredibly picky about yoga. Like as a student, I'm like a really picky student. And I love I love all of the yoga classes that I've done on there. I will put the link to the class in the show notes in case you want to check it out. If you use the link that I provide, it will give you 30 days free to try it out. So there's so many different classes on there, like so many. And the thing that's really cool is the names of the classes on there are like, it'll be like the class when you don't want to work out, or like the class whenever you need to get out of a funk, or the class whenever you feel anxious or something. So it's like, it's telling you basically like the feeling or the emotion or the energy that it's kind of going to cater to. There's one for like the class for nervous system regulation, the class for a morning wake up, the class for an evening wind down, like stuff like that. So you kind of know going into it, like what kind of vibe it's going to be and what it's going to be good for. So you can choose the workout based on like how you're feeling at that time, which I love, because like you don't know what all you're going to be doing in there, but you know, like, okay, it's going to be good for me because this is what I'm feeling. I'm feeling like I need to get out of a funk, or I'm feeling like I need to get out of my head. And so I'm going to do this class. So highly, highly, highly recommend that app. Definitely use the link for 30 days free on that. And then spiritual practices, that's another non-negotiable of mine, whether it is journaling, scripting, prayer, higher self connection, visualizing, anything like that, energy work, stuff like that, that's non-negotiable for me. And it's not going to look the exact same every day, but it is going to be a part of my every single day. Nourishment, eating in a way that feels supportive and vibrant and nourishing to me. And that can differ from day to day. Like sometimes it's going to feel more nourishing to me to just eat really clean and plain. And then sometimes it's going to be more nourishing to me if I treat myself. If I go out to eat and I allow myself to order what I want and not necessarily like what I would tell myself I should have, but like sometimes it really is about like truly kind of gifting yourself a little treat. And then just kind of being able to know the difference of like, when is it best to keep it simple and clean, or when is it best to treat yourself? Somatic practices, another non-negotiable, and like dancing to a song or two, that can also fit in here. Like that can fit into somatic or exercise, whatever one you want. EFT tapping, I don't do that every day, but I do love it. Like I love EFT tapping. Every time I do it, I'm like, man, I need to do this more. It's so good. Releasing stored energy or trauma in your body through somatic movement, that's a huge one. I've talked about this multiple times on the podcast, but I cannot say enough about the Workout Witch's somatic programs. She's got like the 30-day one. That's the one I started with. And then there's a 60-day one and a 90-day one. At this point, I have everything. Like I have the 5-course bundle that she has created. And I love it so much. It has changed the game for me. It has helped me release emotions and trauma that were stuck and stored in my body that I literally didn't even fucking know were in there. And it has just helped me completely become more in touch with my emotions and like actually allowing myself to express them and feel them and release them so that they are not stuck in my body, causing all these physical health ailments like they were. And the movements are so easy and gentle, and like it's not like a torturous thing. It's not like, okay, you're going to go do this really strenuous movement and it's going to make you feel shitty and blah blah blah. No, it feels so good. Like you're literally doing it and you're like, how is gently like rocking my hips from side to side and then moving my toes one way and the other, like just random stuff like that. Like, how is that going to help my hips release stored trauma? But it does. Like somehow it just does. And I can confirm that. And I have put multiple people onto this since I started because they hear me talking about it and they're like, oh my God, like I need to try this. And every single one of them so far has been like, oh my God, this is changing everything. Like I'm noticing so many difference. I'm crying, like I'm getting these emotions out. I'm feeling better. My sex drive is higher. My pain is less, like my hips hurt less or my lower back hurts less or whatever. So there is something to it. So again, I do have also a 10% off discount code for all of the Workout Witches offerings. So I will put that in the show notes as well if you want to try that. If you want to add that to your list of non-negotiables, I promise you it will help you. The next one is hypnosis or subconscious reprogramming / affirmation / scripting, which I know I already mentioned those things like with the spiritual practices, but if you're like intentionally or consciously manifesting something using hypnosis and subconscious reprogramming tools, affirmation, scripting, whatever, visualizing, those things are really powerful. I'm actually going to be getting, I don't know if I've mentioned this before. I think I talked about it on Instagram, but I can't remember if I talked about it on a podcast or not. But I am actually feeling super, super called to kind of like unlearn a lot of the things that I learned about manifestation and kind of go back to the basics, because that's where I started, of course. That's where I think most of us started, was the basics of manifestation. And it was almost like better whenever I knew less about manifestation. I knew less and I was manifesting more. Like, to be honest with you, I was manifesting shit left and right. Like, I have a whole list of notes in my phone. Like, I used to, I had this whole like manifestation practice that I did like every day. And I was really big on like scripting and affirmations. That was incredibly effective for me, but I also did use visualization. And I just like had this running list on a note in my phone of all the things that I like manifested on day to day. Like every time something would happen or whatever, I would like make a note of it because I wanted to be able to look back at that and be like, oh my God, look how powerful I am. Look how much of a creator I'm a master manifester. Like I'm a super attractor, like Gabrielle Bernstein would say. And that's actually the first book that I read, the first like spiritual manifestation book that I read, and like that book changed my fucking life. And I like almost kind of am feeling a call to like go back to it, and as well as others, like just to go back to the basics of it, like unlearn kind of all this complicated shit that I have accumulated around manifestation over as I've gotten so much more advanced in my spiritual practice. Like what I'm kind of playing with is the idea that more advanced is not always better. And sometimes keeping it simple and like literally just doing the basic things or the beginner things are sometimes more effective. And so that's kind of what I'm playing with. And I'm going to be talking about that more. I think I'm going to do like an experiment that I'll share like on Instagram and on the podcast with that. So anyway, talk about that more later. But okay. And then playful things, fun things. What is fun for you? You have to have fun. Life is literally like, we are here to have fun and to enjoy the human things that you can't enjoy in the other realms. Like having like tasting and enjoying food. You can't do that in the other realms. Having sex, like having pleasure practices, stuff like that. You can't, like, that's just not one of the things that happens in the other realms. And that's part of being human. Like there's a lot of shit that comes with being human that's not fun, but there's also a lot of fun that comes with being human. And so why are we not taking advantage of that like at the fullest capacity? So just playful things like music, different beauty rituals, pleasure practices, things that feed your radiance. Like for me, one of them is I love to read. Like I love to read, like fiction. I like nonfiction as well, but I'm typically like always reading a fiction and a nonfiction. And it just kind of depends like on my mood, which one I'm currently clicking on my Kindle. But I read, I kid you not, every single night. Like I was just looking at my stats. Like my Kindle app was telling me I'm on like a 29-week streak for reading my Kindle every day. And so, yeah, I literally read every day. Sometimes I read in the morning whenever I wake up. Like I wake up, I take my thyroid medication. I have to wait 30 minutes before I have anything else besides water. And sometimes I'll literally just read for that 30 minutes. Like I'm still in bed and I'm reading, and then I get up after that. So that is fun for me. I like coloring too, like adult coloring books. That's creative. It's playful. It feels soothing, and, it's not electronic. So that's always an added plus. It's not a screen. So what things feel fun to you? Add at least one in there in your everyday. And it doesn't have to be like long. It doesn't have to be like a whole hour or something. I mean, it absolutely can, but it doesn't have to if that's not what is going to be best for you. Okay, now let's get into the astrology. So like I said, your glow up is not a one size fits all. Absolutely nothing is a one size fits all if you haven't already kind of figured that out. What we're going to talk about is your Venus, moon, rising, sun, and your second and fifth house. And yeah, I said rising already. So that's your first house. So we're going to talk about the Venus, moon, rising, sun, second, and fifth houses. And those are kind of the placements, and Lilith. I'm going to throw Lilith in there too. Those are kind of the placements that we would look at whenever we're like, okay, astrologically speaking, what houses and placements would we need to look at if we were intentionally wanting to have a glow up? Like what energies would we need to harness and really lean into and embody? So let's start with Venus. That's the most obvious one because Venus is your radiance, your magnetism, your beauty. Venus shows what makes you feel beautiful, magnetic, and irresistible, essentially. So leaning into your Venus placement is like unlocking your personal like beauty code. An example, like Venus and Taurus, that's my placement. So rituals with touch, sensuality, earthy nourishment. Venus in Taurus, like Taurus is very, very sensual. And I like when I say sensual, like hopefully, I'm not talking like sexual. It can be, but it's like literally just using your senses, your five senses or six senses, however many senses you believe that we have. We definitely have more than five, but, how can you connect with those? Like your taste, your touch, your scent, all of that. For me, scent is so hugely important. Like I'm such a scent connoisseur. I'm a perfume collector. I am all about like the niche, like boutique perfume houses, like Parfums de Marly and Byredo. And like, this might mean nothing to you. Like this is such a niche thing, but I'm so into that. And that's like so Venus and Taurus. So smelling good for me, it makes me feel radiant and magnetic and sexy and beautiful, and that it may not for you. Like maybe you're a Venus and Leo and you feel magnetic and irresistible when you're expressing yourself super like boldly, and you like luxury and you like play, like playfulness. That makes you feel really magnetic and beautiful. So those are two examples for that. Talk about the first house and rising sign. That's your aura and like your first impressions, like how people have a first impression of you. Let me say this better. It's people's first impression of you. So your rising sign is your chart ruler, and it literally sets the tone of your glow. So your first house, it shows how you embody your energy and how people see you and what amplifies your presence. Okay. So looking into, I am going to have an offering soon. Like, so as I was prepping this episode, I actually had the idea and the inspiration that I'm going to create an offering, like a little program out of this, how to have your own like cosmic glow up. And we're going to go in depth to all of these different placements that I'm going through. And I'm going to give you like literally information for each different Venus sign and for like rising sign, moon sign, sun sign, second house, fifth house, Lilith, like all of that. So we're already at almost an hour here. So I'm just going to go kind of brief on these, but then also keep an eye out for a new offering coming from me soon on this very topic. Who doesn't want to have a glow up, Okay, so your moon sign, that's your emotional nourishment and your radiance from within. Your moon reveals how you replenish yourself emotionally. When your emotional body is nourished, you glow naturally. And it has nothing, you don't even have to do anything. Like, it's not anything about anything external. It's literally just like when your emotional body is nourished, you glow. An example here is like Cancer moon glows when she feels safe and cozy and nurtured, and a Sagittarius moon, like me, glows when she's a little bit more adventurous, inspired, learning something new, and feeling like freedom. Sun sign, that is your life force energy, or chi, if you're familiar with like your chi, or if you're a yogi, your prana. It's your life force energy. The sun is your vitality and your life force. So when you're honoring your sun sign energy, your glow up is sustainable, like not surface level, because you will absolutely, this is actually something I just recently learned within my medical astrology program that I'm going through. I kind of like, for a while, was kind of like shitting on the sun sign a little bit, because I was like, I just don't think that the sun sign is all that important. Like, the more that I was learning about the whole rest of the chart, I was like, kind of feel like the sun sign is the least significant, but it's actually not. I was definitely proven wrong, and I totally can admit that I was wrong about this. The sun sign, you will literally go into a depression and lose your glow if you are not honoring the energy and the vitality of your sun sign. So keep that in mind for sure. Okay, second house, that's your beauty and your self-worth. That is just the house of worth in general. So of course that's going to extend also to your self-worth. This house shows you how you value yourself and your relationship with beauty, money, embodiment. Practices that honor your second house placement bring a deeper level of glow. So look into that. Look in what is in your second house. How can you have some practices that honor whatever placement you have in there so that you can have that deeper level of glow? Fifth house, that's your pleasure, play, and your creative spark. True glow ups are not just about looking good. I hope that we've already established that by this point. It's absolutely about how you feel, because how you feel is going to turn into how you look. If you feel like shit, you're going to end up looking a little bit like shit, you know? That's just how it is. So it's about being lit up from the inside. Your fifth house shows you what brings you joy, play, and creative fire. It's that inner spark that makes people say like, oh, she's glowing. Look at her. She's glowing. She's on fire. And then we're just going to touch on Lilith here as well. That is like your raw feminine magnetism. Some people would say it's like your dark feminine. Lilith shows where your untamed, apologetic feminine power lies. When you embrace this energy, you stop shrinking and your glow becomes just unmistakable. So whether you are single or not, this is your reminder that the glow up comes from you. It is not about your partner or lack of partner. It is from you pouring into yourself, how you prioritize yourself, and how you refuse to let anyone else's needs or comfort dim your radiance. And you can do both. You can pour into yourself and a relationship and kids and family and your job and your friends, whatever. You can do both. You just have to be conscious of making sure that your needs are met first. Fill your cup up first, and then let your glow feed everything else, and it will. And you, like I said, you will notice a difference. It's not like you have to do this for 6 months to feel a difference and see a difference. I promise you. So I'm doing this with you. I am literally doing this in real time. I would love to hear about your journey with it. If you want to share your before and after photos with me, I would be so honored, but like absolutely no pressure. Like that is for you first and foremost. But I would love to just hear kind of your thoughts on this. Like, what is your take? How have you noticed? Like, maybe this is something you didn't even notice about yourself until I talked about it. And then you're like, oh my God, yeah, I did lose my glow a little bit. I have been backburnering myself and my needs. I would love to talk about it. So if you are down to have a little chat or to share your experience or what are some of the non-negotiables that you come up with after you do the 3-step process I went over, DM me. I would love to talk with you about it. I would love to do this with you. So yeah, if this episode resonated, of course, make sure that you're subscribed and make sure that if you feel called, maybe you rate the podcast. And yeah, just make sure also, first and foremost, that you subscribe so that you get notifications on all future episodes. I do 2 episodes a week, so lots to talk about. And of course, don't forget that you can grab my freebies, my free guides. So we've got the mini astrology guide to period pain, and we have Cosmic Wellness 101, though that is going to teach you, it's your beginner guide to decoding your chart, your birth chart for your ultimate health and wellness. And if you want to take it a little step further and you want to learn how to use your birth chart to regulate your nervous system in the way that is going to best serve your specific nervous system, because we're going off of your birth chart, which is your soul blueprint, grab Mercury Medicine, the guide, the link in my show notes or in my Instagram bio, and make sure to use the code podcast for 20% off. Okay. This was a long one, so I hope that you enjoyed it. I think that there was a lot of value here. I know, at least for me, so I'm sure that it will at least hit for some other women. And I hope that this served you. I hope that you have a beautiful rest of your day. Thank you for allowing me to release this episode a little bit later in the day than I normally do. And I will talk to you soon. If this episode sparked something in you, share it with a friend who needs it. Take a screenshot, post it to your Instagram story, and tag me at Intuitively Sydney. That's SIDNEY. I would love, love, love to see who's tuning in so I can connect with you and celebrate you. Have an amazing week, and I will talk to you next Tuesday.